As much as I'd like to start off 2017 with some super positive news about the Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's looking ever more likely that the first part is not going to release this year. We'd actually spoken about this a few months ago when Nomura did an interview with Dengeki magazine. He noted that he'd been far too busy with other games like World of Final Fantasy to plan anything for the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. At that time, he also shared the nugget of information that he wasn't even sure when he'd be in a position to offer any more news about the game until things quote unquote calmed down. Skipping back to the present, and it doesn't look like things have changed that much, at least if we can read anything into his recent comments which come via an interview with Famitsu. But before we get onto that, we do have some good news from Nomura. He actually shared an initial plan regarding the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. He announced that there will be a snow sculpture appearing at the Sapporo Snow Festival in February. As a fun fact here, when Final Fantasy VII originally launched, they actually celebrated by having a snow sculpture at, you guessed it, the Sapporo Snow Festival. So this is a nice little homage to the past. And what you're seeing now is actually the proposed design for the new sculpture. Anyway, back to the juicy stuff. Nomura told Famitsu that progress on the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Kingdom Hearts 3 is steady, and that while the team continue to work on both, he must apologise as the wait will be a bit longer. He hopes that this wait will ensure the game will meet the expectations of fans. To Nomura's credit, I think that's fair enough. I'm sure everyone would agree that we would rather they take their time and create a masterpiece that will rival or perhaps even surpass the original game than rush this version of Final Fantasy VII out of the door to meet a milestone. I mean, it'd be nice and I'd love to play it sooner rather than later, but there's no way they should sacrifice quality just to meet a historical deadline, and I don't think they would ever forgive themselves if things played out that way. We've had so many rumblings coming out about a similar scenario happening to Final Fantasy XV, where rumours talk about a mandate from the higher-ups stating that the game had to release in 2016 no matter what. And I think when you look at the story of the game, it kind of shows that things were rushed. We do not want a repeat of that for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Nomura continued on in an interview by stating that while they showed limited information on both titles last year, that he wants to show progress during an event at some point during 2017. And this is the part that makes me somewhat pessimistic about either the Final Fantasy VII Remake or Kingdom Hearts releasing this year. If we're talking about sharing core information about the game and informing the mass media and general public in a big way, then there are only a few different options for events that they could attend. The big three would obviously be E3, Gamescom, or the Tokyo Game Show. The important thing here is that at some point, Square Enix has to put a stake in the ground and start off the hype campaign in preparation for the game's release. And if we're looking at history, they often choose to do this well in advance of the game's eventual release date. For Final Fantasy XV, they decided to skip E3 2015 and chose Gamescom as their big launch platform. This was 13 months before the planned release of the game. At this point, we got the Dawn trailer, and from there, everything started to fall into place. They hit PAX, they hit Tokyo Game Show, they had numerous active time reports, they launched the official forums, and then we had Uncovered, which led into what would have been the 6-month campaign leading up to the game's launch, until the game's delay. I mean, Nomura could be choosing to be coy with his statement, but his closing remark in the interview kind of cements the fact that this year will be more focused on sharing information about the game's preparation, as opposed to launching it. He said that both the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Kingdom Hearts 3 still have a way to go, but there are many titles releasing this year if we can wait for any surprises. That's kind of the nail in the coffin for me. I mean, why would Nomura suggest that we should look forward to other games releasing in 2017 if either of his games were planned to release this year? I will admit though, I am very keen to learn more about these surprises. I'm going to hazard a guess that one of those surprises will be the home console port of the City of Final Fantasy, and for reference here, Tetsuya Nomura is also working on that game as both a character designer and creative producer. I mean, it would be a shame if both games did skip this year, but it sounds like Square Enix will have us covered either way. At the moment, we know that Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, will be releasing, and there will likely be a localized version of Dissidia Opera Omnia releasing at some point throughout the year. Sure, they aren't the Final Fantasy VII Remake that everyone has been craving since that E3 2005 tech demo, but I'm optimistic that we'll get some big surprises on the 31st of January at the 30th anniversary event. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you still feel there's a chance that the first part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake will release this year, or do you feel that 2018 or 2019 are more realistic possibilities? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, be sure to check out our new Patreon at patreon.com/FFUnion. We would appreciate it so much, and you'll also get the chance to obtain some Final Fantasy Union merch and even suggest some upcoming videos. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. This is Daryl, signing out. I'll see you next time, guys.